basic exercises. Machiwara is used to teach about stance and getting low and the benefits of getting low. So we start with tsuki, toes and heels together, and we practice punching straight out from the shoulder, no hips, no anything, just a straight line. Think of your arms as a coat hanger coming back and out to strike. Use your fingertips so that you have to lean forward in order to strike. Try and keep your shoulders locked, pull back and out, and lean forward, just bounce back. Most of us think we have a good straight punch. When you take everything away, including your hips, you realize that many times we're letting our elbows flare out. So we just spend time practicing straight, like so. After a while, you realize that all you're doing is rocking back and forth. And you start to see the benefits of lowering your body. If I take my center of balance and instead of having it over my heels, I bend my knees, it goes over my toes more. So my center of balance is now farther forward without me actually having to lean. And I can do the same thing. With a bit of back resistance. Spend weeks, maybe a week, doing just this with just each hand, starting up, starting low. Try and get 100 a day, up and then low. 50 if you start to go raw on the knuckles. And the third one is to, from there, toes come out, knuckle. Now, check your distance, your fingers. The goal is, instead of leaning, force yourself to twist. You're not allowed to lean forward at all. Instead, you want to pull back with the other hand. So you'll punch in the air here, straighten, and hit with the opposite hand, pulling back to the hip. You want to get closer, that's fine. If your shoulders are square here, what's going to happen as you strike is when you hit the Machiwara, it's going to force the Machiwara back, and then the recoil of the Machiwara is going to push you back to square. And it's a good indication on whether or not you're leaning a whole lot. This is not a power drill. It's a technique drill. It's to see if the tsuki is straight. It's also to try and get your elbows straight. I have a habit of striking like this, and you'll even see people in Shinjuku-kan when they strike. They've got this bent elbow. You want it to be there if you can. It's really hard to break that habit. So, third one you can do is in shikodachi. Naturally, your foot has to cross the line here. You don't want your shoulder directly in front of the Machiwara, because it has a tendency to push you straight back. So here, again, you're forced back. You can use your hips as a result to take the recoil. So strike, 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 strike. The nice thing about this exercise is you can start to use tension now. We use the shikodachi tenshin out to the sides like so. So you can practice. Again, I'm not even striking hard right now. When I go to my left, I keep my hand fixed to the Machiwara and I allow my hip to come back. So I'm actually moving, I'm preparing myself for the next strike. I'm staying on the opponent and I'm ready to strike. I keep my hand on, twist, strike. So those are some basic tsuki drills to just practice striking straight and basic fencing. The whole premise is not to have a foundation that is based on pushing against the opponent, but based on a percussive stamp. You stamp the opponent pushes back, that's not a problem. You can recoil back off of it. But if the opponent doesn't recoil or push back against you, you try to stick to them. So there's a lot of sensitivity that's developed through this kind of exercise. I'll show another one. Next one is another one to keep us from leaning. It's done from Machiwara Undo. And again, you use your fingertips. Your front foot can be lined up on the Machiwara, because that's where your shoulder hangs. I can't reach without either leaning or twisting. I twist, no problem. So from here, my hips are square, my hips are angled this way. Square, angled. And when I do that, my knee is going to be tempted to pull in as opposed to coming forward. My hand wants to come forward. So my knee should also come forward, out. In contrast, my left hand, my rear hand, should be pulling around behind. So the power travels from my right around to my left, behind and out my right arm by pulling in the holster. So I can push laterally and haraite, and then pull back to strike. Push laterally, strike. Push laterally, and then strike. Each time pulling back here. If I want to switch sides, I just step to the other side, and push in the opposite direction, and strike. So it's two pushes and a strike. I push with my rear hand, I push with my lead hand as I switch feet, and they come out. Push, push, strike. Push, push, strike. If I get overzealous and I miss, and I go forward like that, I know I'm leaning. It's a good way to regulate your techniques. You kick. That's it. Cross-body hand, kick, strike as you pull. Push, push, kick, strike. You want to try kicking over the Machiwara? Go for it. Try to get a close up of the feet. Okay, this is the standard hui jichi, which means flying strike, and it's based on, it's probably the format that most people are familiar with. This is the last one I'm going to show in the basic series that I just put together. My heel's on the outside edge of this line here. Toes can cross over. So, here to there, always guarding across the body. The premise behind developing power for the tsuki is the same way as when we were doing the tsuki. With the neck-washi-dachi. So this hand comes back in order for my hand to come forward, like so. When I strike, I look to the 45, and then I strike to the 45 across the Machiwara. And as I'm striking across, I look back over the Machiwara. I look at the throat of my opponent. From there, strike and across. Like so. The emphasis should be on pulling more so than striking. When I want to cross over, as mentioned before, the hand is going to come underneath, kakyuke, cross body, here, and I strike. So, too far out. Toes over the line, okay. Heel over the line, not okay. That's the kind of sound you want to have, that flat slapping sound. In contrast to my left hand, which is a dull thud. And once in a while I can get it. I have some funny habits with my left elbow. This jigotai, the lower you are, the easier it is to get that slapping sound. I think it's partly because of the way our hands are built. Everyone knows most Machiwara lean forward, and that's to compensate for the way most of our fists are built, where the fingers are actually sticking out at the middle knuckles more so than the top knuckles. But as I've advanced in Machiwara, I've managed to get my fists so that it's more, these come in deeper, and my top knuckles stick out farther. So in order to get lower and get on that angle, I have to get lower. That's what I want. The other aspect of this is, again, you don't want to be pushing. Every time you miss, you'll lean forward. So that's where you want it. Okay.